I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of the complacency in this country when it comes to terror. I'm sick and tired of how normalised terror attacks are becoming and the meaningless platitudes from our leaders in their aftermath. Yesterday, Boris Johnson said, "We must all remain vigilant and Britain will never be cowed by terrorism." Well, yes, we will all remain vigilant, and this country, thankfully, is stacked full of very brave, very courageous, very proud individuals who will refuse to live their lives in fear. But Boris Johnson drives around in an armour-plated car flanked by police officers on motorbikes, whilst it's Liverpudlian taxi drivers on the front line of this thing, it's people enjoying a pint in Borough Market, it's the people trying to get to work on the tube, it's the children attending an Ariana Grande concert who are on the front line of this. Now, it's important to say that MI5 revealed they thwarted 31 late-stage terror attacks in the UK in the last 4 years, and that there can be no doubt that they're working flat out to keep us safe, and that there are probably countless other situations that they take care of that we'll never know about, and we should be immensely grateful for their work. It's also nigh on impossible to thwart every single lunatic who decides that they want to commit a terror attack. It just takes some nutter in their bedroom to see one thing online, pull a kitchen knife out of their drawer, and before you know it, we've got another attack on our hands. We all understand that. We all accept that there is simply an inherent risk out there that we all just have to deal with. But it feels like it's our political leaders who are too complacent on terror in general, and we're not helping ourselves, or rather, they're not helping us. Cutting police numbers and then making a big song and dance about replacing the officers they slashed isn't helping us. Having a justice system that allows a man who is known to have radicalised at least 70 other terrorists to serve just a few years in prison before not just being back out on the streets, but allowed to continue hate preaching, isn't helping us. I'm very worried about the situation taking place in the Channel. I want to really stress that if I was from various countries in the Middle East or Africa or wherever, and I had no hope whatsoever of a good life, I undoubtedly would try to make my way to a better, probably European country. So we can't begrudge people for wanting a better life for their family. We should also acknowledge that, as yet, there's not been a single instance that I'm aware of anyone who has come across the Channel committing a terror attack in this country. But I am deeply concerned that it has the potential to happen. And that's a perfectly logical concern, because by definition, if we don't know who thousands of these people are, it can pose a risk to national security. But what I'm really worried about is what will happen if one of them does commit a terror attack. I fear that we're sitting on a powder keg as a nation at the moment, and I think there'll be huge public backlash on the streets if that happens. That would show the very worst of Britain. It would show rage, and it would just be horrible. And I just hope that our government doesn't continue to sleepwalk into a situation that could allow that to happen. But there's another element to this as well, where I really do not think we're helping ourselves. We're dealing with a warped ideology here, radical Islam more often than not, and we need to eliminate it root and branch. And at the moment, I think that our education system helps to promote a very negative view of Britain. It highlights all the wrongs this country has committed in the past. All too often, it paints us as a nation of violent imperialist slave traders with no moral compass. What impact does that have on children in this country? Well, it leads to the Union Jack being burnt outside a school in London, which actually happened. Again, we're not helping ourselves. We hold up our side of the bargain as the public. We keep calm, we carry on, we get back on the tube a couple of days after 7/7, we go back to Borough Market. I think it's time that the government held up their end of the bargain and do more to keep us safe.